Hmm. Good afternoon, boys and girls. Today we are going to discuss important facts and figure about note making. Why do we make note? Have you thought about it any time? I think you would have thought about it because it is such an important tool for students. It is for others as well, but for students it is much more important than it is for others, because knowledge is vast, information is vast, and our mind is not that mature enough to store, catch, and have it for the time of examination. So we need note for that. When we make note, what happens? We read the chapter, we skim the chapter, we, we extract important points of the chapter, we put them in such a manner in which we are able to connect later, say a month. If we offer it to others, if we share it with others, then others are also able to connect it. Firstly, think how we are going to make note of a particular passage. Suppose you have got a passage in the examination and you are told to make note on it and develop it into a readable paragraph as well. How will you do it? Let's take, for example, what we do when we make note is this, that we read the passage carefully with maybe pencil in our hand and skimming the important ideas and important facts and important figures about that passage, underlining it, encircling it, and jotting it down later in a phrasal expression at our copy. After seeing that, we use another format. We formatize it. For formatizing it, what do? We use decimal format. For example, if a paragraph has certain point, we put it into the main point. If that main point has got affiliation, that point will be referred to as subpoint, and we shall reflect that in a decimal format. If there is another point which is of subsidiary use, then we can use this decimal point to show that. We should not use more than 5 subpoints. In most of the cases, what we do is to use 3-4 subpoints, and that is a better proposition, because we cannot make our notes lengthy and exhaustive, because if it becomes so, what happens? We lose track of the main points and the subpoints in that process. Boys and girls, why do we make note is clear. It is clear because we do note making because we want to save time for future. We don't want to waste our time. We cannot remember all the things. We cannot reproduce all the things. So if it is available in the main point form, in certain point table, in a format, we are able to get connected, and it helps in bringing lots and lots of marks. What are the qualities of a good note? It should be short and compact, physical and logicality, semantic logicality, physical logicality and semantic logicality. That means when we are reading it after say a month, we are able to get connected and we recall those points that we would have read in a particular unit. And if we are able to do that, then it does wonderful work for us and our work is done. We have to use mathematical symbols, we have to use abbreviations, we have to use commas, we have to use full stops, we have to use colon and semicolon, etc., to separate the one idea from another idea. Suppose a passage has four paragraphs. So, roughly speaking, we shall have 4 main points for that, and under those 4 main points we shall have 3 sub points, and maybe if it is asked that you should use 2 sub points, then we shall use 2 sub points and sub points as well from the viewpoint of the examiner, because it is given there. We have to use the key of abbreviations also, so that others are able to understand what those contracted words mean for that. I think note making is an idea which was developed very logistically by the students, by the people who go to office, by the people who work in different firms and organizations, wherein lot of works are there, lot of things are there to be remembered in a day, and if we do not note that in a particular format, we will not be able to execute our work in that manner. That is why note making is very important, and we need to work about it. We need to understand things about note making. If we have the ability of making note, then we will prosper in our future. We shall be able to execute our work not only as students, but also as executives, as managers, as clerk, as an official who has the ability, who has the work of doing something at a larger scale. So, note is an ingredient, a tool which is almost important in every sector of life, including the students, including the teachers, and including the people who are in administration. Lot of data, because of work multiplication, lot of works are being done, and to collect that data we use note forms in putting it in a phrasal expression, so that it takes less time. Now, what a note making should be is depends upon how it has been made, how it has been constructed. If the note maker has constructed it logically, if the note maker has constructed it physically in a coherent manner, extracting the whole idea of the passage itself will be reflected in the note, and the examiner and the visitor who visits that note, uses that note at a later stage, will be at a comfortable position to use that note. Today we have discussed this part. Next day we shall discuss another part of this, how to develop note into a readable paragraph. This much for today. Thank you very much, boys and girls. Keep reading and keep making notes, so that you are able to succeed in your life in a better manner, because reading and reading will not be sufficient. You have to make note, you have to jot down points, and if you jot down points, you will be able to be very precise as far as examination purpose is concerned, and for students it is good. Thank you very much.